So pretty much has a quick release fuel line right here. Just press the button right here and it'll release it. It does plug into that port right here. So go ahead and drain that. I did find a little bit of, see how look it's kind of wiggling a little bit. This tank has been removed before to run all these LED wire stuff for the lighting. So I don't know if it's just worn out or it's just not seating right, but that's how I pretty much drained the gas. And then once we drain that, it's going to take a while. We're going to go ahead and pretty much pop the gas tank, and then we'll run all the wires to this area right here. While we're waiting for the gas tank to drain, I went ahead and slid the radio in this position. Pretty much kind of just place the screws back in there to hold it in place. So we're going to go ahead and remove the speakers. As you can see, this looks like this bracket has to come off. Looks like 4 security screws. Looks like it's missing one down there. Let me see the other side if it's the same. Yep, it's missing another one in there, so it's okay. We're not even going to really need it, but we're only going to need to remove these 3, unplug everything, and then we won't need any of these speaker lines. This gas line crossover line is also going to be removed. It's got one of those clamps right there that needs to come off, and more than likely we're going to go ahead and pretty much plug that back in or get one from AutoZone whenever we put the gas tank back on. But so far we're still draining. Once we get everything drained, pretty much put everything back together. And yes, I could have done it here, but for some reason, like, it's not sealing right whenever you release this line. So that's why I'm just kind of draining it from here. I didn't want to do it this way, but it just keeps leaking oil at this port whenever this line is removed. So far we got the radio mounted. Pretty much little things here and there are pretty much zip tied and kind of secured a little bit. I already took off the speakers. Once we are done, we're going to go ahead and tuck this in. We're not going to need both of these since we are running a 2-channel, so we're not going to need the stock speaker signals, but we are going to tuck it in a little bit just to kind of make it look nice and presentable, even though we don't need it. But it's going to go ahead and zip tie both of that there. This is for if you have a stock rear speakers. Obviously we don't, so that's getting zip tied as well. So just kind of tidy everything up. This one wasn't zip tied, so that zip tying that later. But yeah, this bracket was broken off, so not sure how we're gonna take care of that part. They're broken off on this one, so pretty sure that supports. I don't even really know if we need that or not with the new speakers, but we'll see. So these Metro adapters come with 3 screws. They'll give you an extra one, so you get 1, 2, 3. It only goes one way. That little flat spot right here obviously leans to that. Make sure you don't use any battery power tool, just kind of tighten it by hand, because if you pretty much strip the screw location or the screw tab, this is not going to hold in place. So I pretty much got that bolt done up, pretty much snug in there, and then we'll pretty much mount the speaker and see what that looks like. So just kind of mounting the speakers for now. I ended up using these screws right here. Now this may look long, but I wanted it to extend a little bit just for, I guess, for peace of mind. You can use a little bit shorter. That's completely up to you, but I prefer to have it longer than this. So yeah, these are what's actually come with aftermarket speakers. So I mean, if they're good enough, that comes with a aftermarket one, so they should be good enough to use with these ones. The fuel is pretty much almost drained, so I went ahead and broke off the clamp. You're gonna end up buying a new one. You can't really reuse these. So, but the only way to get this tank in here is to remove one of these lines. That way it'll shoot to the other side and this thing pops off. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that, and then pretty much take the gas tank off. Both speakers are mounted, all screwed in, ready to go, all secured. I went ahead and pretty much moved the gas tank. I ended up not taking this piece off to get the vent line. I just flipped it around, and since they also had all these lighting wire deals, I didn't want to really mess with all that, so I just kind of flipped it, used a bungee to kind of keep it secured to the bottom, so just to kind of prevent it from falling. I did use the seat bracket to kind of support it, like I said, that way there's no chance of it falling this way. Some would fully take it off, but I don't really need to do it. I don't see the real need to do it, but yeah, so far this is where we are. I already took off the cover right here, so once we got the cover, or once we get the amp kit, we're going to be running the wires right here and then pretty much keep on moving at that point. So yeah, so far we're about, I don't know, 4 hours in, since I've never really taken this particular Harley version before. So other than that, this is where we are. We got the Scar OFC amp kit, so we're going to go ahead and put that with the motorcycle. Go ahead and finish the radio up, put the battery back, and then pretty much start it up and pair the steering wheel control interface and check everything. Here's the progress so far. Got the wiring for the speakers already done, the amp already mounted, already got everything pretty much ferruled. These two are going to be for when he upgrades to a rear speaker and a 4-channel. That way I don't have to take the gas tank off and drain the gas. Just waiting on the battery to go back in so I can pretty much power up the radio and activate the steering wheel control interface. But overall, we are pretty much ready to put the gas tank back on. Here's all the wiring neatly ran. Here's the 2 speaker wires, so I'll be able to put the cover back on and pretty much flip the gas tank and install everything back. Got the motorcycle done up, got all the power wire. This is still the charging port, so it's readily available whenever he needed to. All the grounds are connected, power, and I did have to mount it that way so the seat go back in. I had it in here before, I had it in here, and it didn't work out very well, so this is going to be its new home. I'm going to put back the seats and pretty much button everything up. Putting the seat back before we put the front fairing. We're putting back the Harley together. It's getting picked up today. I ended up replacing the RCA to just a 1-footer. Got everything zip tied, tied it up, made sure nothing's rubbing. We're almost done. Last screw, and this Harley's pretty much ready to go and get picked up. Last finishing touch. Have to protect it from getting scratched. Go ahead and pull it all the way. Go ahead. And she is ready to go.